Hello, welcome to or back to Oh My Bookishness. Today, I'm very excited about the video I have in store for you. We're matching fiction with formal wear because I have some formal dresses in my closet that I never get to wear and I wanted an excuse to play dress up. So why not match those formal dresses that I have with books that also talk about clothing? I know you've seen books like this before, and some of you, maybe you don't like descriptions of clothing and you're bored when it goes on and on about what dress she was wearing to this masquerade ball where she met her one true love. I love descriptions of clothing in books. I like to know what they're wearing. I like to know if it's practical for what they're doing. I like to know if it matches up with the cover art. I like to know about the clothes. I like to read about fancy clothes that I myself will never get to wear. But in today's video, I can come close because I have a few formal dresses saved from like old proms, from weddings, and just ones that I found in thrift stores that I was like, I want to wear that, and it's like $4. Yeah, so I have some formal dresses. I want to play dress up. I want to talk about books with fancy clothes in them. So let's get into it, shall we? Here's the first dress, except for it's really more of a dress with a skirt over top and a belt. I actually wore this dress to the Renaissance Festival this year. One of the days I went 2 days. Look, it's got pockets, wow. And yeah, I just love how bright and colorful it is. And here is the book that I'm pairing with it. Eleanor's here, so don't mind if you hear her meowing. The first book, hi Eleanor, is If the Magic Fits, 100 Dresses. And this is a middle grade novel, you can probably tell by the cover. It's super cute. I just picked it up, I think from a thrift store somewhere. Hi Eleanor, do not knock down the tripod, please. And basically it's about this girl who lives in an enchanted castle. Actually, I don't know if she knows it's enchanted at the beginning, but it's pretty obvious it's an enchanted castle. And she works as a scullery maid in the kitchen. And one day she gets promoted to be one of the laundry ladies for the princess of the castle. And as she's kind of helping with the princess's laundry, she finds a closet full of magical dresses. And I won't give away too much, but each dress has its own like special magic and it describes all the different dresses and things, which is very fun. So yes, there's this one, highly recommend. I believe there's a second one somewhere. Oh, it shows it on the back. I haven't read that one yet, but I would like to at some point. Here's the second dress. This is actually an old prom dress from my senior prom. I've never really liked how it looked on me, but my grandma added these gold straps, which are cute. I do love the color green though. The gold straps actually are why I picked it for this book, because they kind of match the cover, not really. Okay, second one is The Betrothed by Kira Cass. Hi, Eleanor. And honestly, anything by Kira Cass, I feel like you're gonna get fantastic descriptions of poofy ball gowns and just like fluffy romance with very little, there's not a lot of a meat to the story, you know. There's not, the plot is fine, but it's mostly just like fluffy, kind of imagine what, ooh, you're in a ballroom and you're dancing and ooh, here's a handsome gentleman and ooh, look at your beautiful dress, which, you know, I enjoy reading sometimes. This one has a bit of a twist ending, so I don't know how to prepare you for it without spoiling it, but prepare yourself for it. Maybe look up some trigger warnings for this one. But otherwise very fun, like court drama. There's a king who wants to be betrothed to the main character. It's been a while since I've read this one. I don't remember exactly what happened, but there's, yeah, all kinds of court drama and fun dresses. And I haven't read the second one because the ending to this one left me reeling so much that I needed it immediately and I didn't get it until a year later or so. And it's one of those ones where I just put it down and then have not had the chance to pick up the second one or reread the first one. But if you're looking for anything with like flowy dresses and descriptions of those dresses, Kirkas. The selection, I haven't read her like mermaid one, but I feel like that's probably got some dresses in it too. This one I actually wore when I was younger, in high school I think, to historical reenactment balls, hi Eleanor, that my homeschool program used to put on. And it was a great time, and I love this dress, but I hardly ever got to wear it. I think I wore it maybe once, maybe twice. And yeah, I did up my hair kind of Jane Austen-y, but I'm no pro. And here is the book I decided to match with it. Okay, I'm crouching for this one because Eleanor stole my chair. She's an adorable menace. But for this dress, I picked Dragon Slippers by Jessica Day George, which is one of my favorite childhood series in general. But one of the reasons for that is because it's got so many dresses and fashion things, and it's so fun. And dragons, of course. How can you go wrong when you mix dragons and ball gowns? I mean, if the dragon were to wear a ball gown, then you might have a problem, but the dragons don't wear the ball gowns, the main girl does. Basically, this is a story about Creole, who her aunt sends her to be captured by a dragon so that a wealthy suitor might rescue her, and then that will take care of her marriage for, you know, so that she's no longer poor and no longer in need of being taken care of, because a wealthy man will come and rescue her from the dragon if the dragon doesn't eat her. And honestly, I didn't pick this dress for it because of it doesn't really have Regency vibes. Although the aunt's meddling with Creel's love life is a little bit Jane Austen-ish. The reason I picked this one to go with this dress is because my mom, my grandma, and I made this dress, and in this book, Creel is a dressmaker and a designer, and she designs these beautiful ball gowns. And obviously she doesn't get eaten by the dragon. You could probably tell that from the cover. There's some dragon slippers that she acquires, and I don't want to spoil too much for you because everybody should get to experience this book. It's so good. It's been a while since I've read it, but it's still good. Yeah, she designs her own dresses, and my mom, my grandma, and I sewed this dress together. So, and it's purple, so you know. I get to wear this dress to my friend's wedding as a maid of honor this fall, and I am so in love with this dress. The color and the sleeves and the fact that it has pockets. You can't beat it. It's just gorgeous. It reminds me of Victorian style a little bit, maybe a little bohemian. It's beautiful, and I'm obsessed with it, and I'm also obsessed with this book. Once again, crouching because Eleanor has decided she wants to keep the chair. But this dress and this book combo, we have Caraval by Stephanie Garber. This is one of my favorite book series. You've probably heard me talk about it before if you've watched the channel for very long. Eleanor just left the chair, but that's fine. This one is, let's see how to describe this one. There are two sisters, and they get tickets to this magical event called Caraval. And it's basically a magical game led by a sorcerer named Legend, and he puts on this spectacular show, I think every year or every 10 years or something like that. I think every year. And you have to remember, it's only a game. It's not real. Nothing that happens is real. It's only a game. But there's lots of twists and turns, and there's lots of things that start happening that seem awfully suspicious. There's some murders and things that start happening. And the two sisters in it, well, one of them you don't see very much in this first book. She's in the second and third book more. But the other sister, Scarlet, she is given a magical dress in this story. And the dress kind of changes with her surroundings and with her emotions. And there's just wonderful, vivid descriptions of this magical dress and all of the finery that it can become and what she wears throughout the book and throughout the series, honestly, because I think she keeps wearing it in book 2 and 3, maybe. But anyways, if you love magical dresses, this is the one for you. My very first prom dress, I wore this when I was 14, and it doesn't quite fit anymore. You'll see in the back, it doesn't quite zip up all the way. Whoops.
My grandma actually added on these straps for me because we weren't allowed to wear strapless dresses, and I wouldn't have been comfortable wearing a strapless dress anyways, because I wasn't that confident at 14. But I thought it matched very well with this book cover.
Okay, now I'm crouching because I'm just too sweaty to move the chair. Changing in and out of formal wear is exhausting. Not to mention talking about books on camera. Whew. Anyways, the book that I matched with this dress, because similar-ish color palettes, I don't know, is Once Upon a Broken Heart, also by Stephanie Garber. This one takes place in the same world as Caraval, and it's not, there's one character who's in the Caraval series who's like a main character in this, but for the most part you don't have to have read Caraval to understand what's going on in this, so it's kind of a standalone spin-off series. But in this one it stars Evangeline Fox, who she's had kind of a rough like few months. She gets turned to stone, and you know, there's some other stuff that happens. It's just a rough time for her. I won't say too much because it's a little spoilery for Caraval, but she has a rough time. And she gets the opportunity to go travel to the magnificent north, where the prince is having like a search, a ball, a contest for his bride so that he can get married and become king. And Evangeline's like, oh, you know, she gets the opportunity to go, and so she's like, oh, I'll go, you know, take my mind off of other things that have happened. Does not do that. But that's not what we're here for. We're not here for the plot. We're here for the fancy dresses. And there are numerous fancy dresses, including a gorgeous wedding gown in there. I won't say whose, I won't say when, I won't say why, but there's a beautiful wedding gown and other like ball gowns and fun things like that. And like Stephanie Garber's other book, Caraval, this one's like a little bit steamy YA, but not like, there's not even any like sexual stuff really, apart from like intense smoochery, if that makes sense. So if that's not your thing, then this might not be your thing. But there are beautiful dress descriptions in this one, and so I wanted to include it in this list. And I am very excited for the third book in this series, which will be coming out this September. So that's super exciting because the second book also had many beautiful dress descriptions, and I love that.
I wish you could see the color of this dress better because it really is the most beautiful, shimmery purple blue indigo color, even though the back is a little bit broken and wonky and I need to fix it. But it's just so pretty. I bought it at a thrift store, and the first time I saw it at the thrift store, I didn't get it. And then I came back a couple months later and it was still there, so I got it and I love it. And I'm so sad that I'll never have an occasion to wear it to because it's so pretty. And here's the book that I decided to match with it.
So with this dress, which the covers do not match very well, but that's not exactly what I was going for anyway, so it's fine. For this dress, I have The Shadows Between Us by Trisha Levenseller, which it's been a little while since I've read this one. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I have a review for it on my blog if you're interested. There's just some, I don't know, some double standards I didn't like in there, and a couple of other things I wasn't a big fan of. A little bit too spicy for my taste. But the reason it is in this list is because the main character, who is trying to assassinate the king, she's trying to marry and then assassinate the king of her country, who's like the Shadow King or something like that. He has some shadow abilities that aren't really used to their full potential in this story. But he's got shadow abilities, shadow magic. The main character is trying to woo and marry him and then kill him so that she can have more power. But she has fantastic taste in fashion, and throughout the story she has beautiful ball gowns and like riding dresses and other activity outfits, as you do, and there are lovely descriptions of all of them. So I recommend the fashion element, not so much the rest of it, but there is a fantastic fashion element that I had to mention in this video. So
I wore this dress at a different friend's wedding. I was a bridesmaid, and I love the skirt because it twirls so well. I've never really liked the cummerbund bodice thing, but otherwise it's beautiful and I love it. And here is the book that I matched with it.
Okay, Red Queen. You've probably heard me talk about this one before. If not me, probably somebody else. It was very popular a while ago. It's kind of tapered off in popularity since the series has ended, but it was mega popular when I was like first getting into and interested in booktube. Still out of breath. It is about a girl. Well, there's a world that's divided between people with silver blood and people with red blood. And the people with silver blood all have superpowers, and the people with red blood are not supposed to have superpowers. However, the main character, Mare, is someone with red blood and accidentally explodes with lightning one day. In front of some very important people who maybe shouldn't have known that she has superpowers. She didn't know she had superpowers either. So things move very quickly, and she becomes betrothed to one of the two princes of the kingdom. The kingdom which used to be America. It's kind of dystopian sci-fi. It's iffy. There's not as many dresses in this one. There's a lot of like battle stuff, rebellion talk, that kind of thing, but there are still dresses, and there are several like silver-blooded families who all kind of have color-coded outfits, which is something that I love. I don't know why, but I love it when it's like, oh, our family color is purple and we all wear purple, and so then there's just like different purple outfits for each member of the family, and it kind of describes, you know, how each outfit fits their personality. And there's some of that in this book, so I wanted to include it in this list as well, even though it's not like, when I think about Red Queen, the first thing that comes to mind is not, oh, the outfits, but they are in there, and I wanted to include it in this list as well. And with a red dress, of course.
I never really thought of myself as a blue dress kind of girl, but I saw this at the thrift store and I fell in love with it. The shade of it is so pretty, even though it's a little too small for me and I don't love the split for the leg. I just think it's so pretty, and it actually has pockets, which is fantastic, and you can't beat pockets. And I just feel so pretty and like fairy princess-ish in it, and I love it. And here's the book that I decided to pair with it.
Before anybody asks, these ear cuffs I got from my local Renaissance festival from the Pirate King and Queen's tent, and they are just made out of jewelry wire and some chains and some pendants, so you might even be able to make them yourself if you wanted to, but if I ever get comments on this video, I anticipate one of the questions being, where did you get those fabulous ear cuffs? From the Ren Fair. So the last book on our list today is none other than Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim, and this one, much like Dragon Slipper, is about a girl who designs dresses and other fashion, of course. And in this story, she has to disguise herself as a man because she's entering a, it's been a while since I've read it, so I can't remember the exact details, but there is a tailoring competition for dressmaking or something like that. And she knows that she could win it, but only men are allowed, so she disguises herself as a man to enter the competition, and she has to, over the course of this book, make 3 dresses, one made of starlight, one made of moonlight, and one made of sunlight, or some variation of that, like maybe laughter of the sun and tears of the blood of the stars. I feel like it's blood of the stars. I think this duology is called Blood of the Stars. And something of the moon, maybe tears of the moon, laughter of the sun, blood of the stars, something like that. She has to make a dress out of each of those things, and the dresses are fabulous. And she also designs like shawls and slippers and things like that in this book. And the second book is less about fashion because they are fighting some demons, and that takes up a lot of time. But still, the first one, if you're in the mood for a fashion read, highly recommend this one. All right, so that is the list for now. Thank you for watching. Do you have any good recommendations for books that include a lot of like fashion and fancy dresses? Let me know. I always love to read more. Maybe I'll make a second video someday, who knows? I always say I'm gonna make a second part to the cottagecore video that I made, and I have never done that, but maybe someday, who knows? That's all the fancy dresses I have, so it wouldn't be as an elaborate of a video, but you never know. Yeah, thanks for watching. That's about all I got, so bye!